Why does it say 41?
41 years old.
Vraiment?
Yeah. It's the oldest international film festival in Canada.
Really?
It is the oldest international film festival in Canada.
Oh,
Yes.
so there, I didn't know.
And trying desperately to still be young.
Ah,
And yes, it's possible.
maybe we could do the interview now.
Sure.
Okay, so
Yeah.
tell me who you are and what do you do here?
So my name is Julien Fonfrède, or as they say here, Julien Fonfrède, and I'm a programmer for the film festival. I program a section called Temps Zero, Time Zero, which is, it's been what, maybe 7 years, 8 years maybe. Section that has been asked to exist to shake a little bit the image of the festival, make it more youthful in terms of films that are being shown. I bring a lot of strange, crazy, lots of Asian, but at the same time also very serious art films, but that are still, you know, aiming to be cool. Yeah, that's a cool section of the festival.
So are you the one that tries to keep your finger on the pulse?
Absolutely, yeah. I basically also really try to find films that are, I would say, free themselves from the difficulty of making films. You know, usually before, you know, great filmmakers were making, you know, a film every 10 years, every 6 years, every, you know, very, you know, and with the Asian influence, I think that's changed with the techniques also, the equipment and everything.
In terms of what changes then, therefore?
You know, for me, I'm much more interested with people that can make, you know, 2-3 films during the year in some ways, or one every 2 years, or and make them fast.
So then how do you find those artists that are those people that do that?
I try to stay connected about who's doing what and what comes out. You know, I'm very interested with filmmakers like in Asia, for example, that can make a very serious art film, and after that a romantic comedy, and after that, you know, martial arts film. You know, that's.
And when you're talking
for
about
me, that's what cinema is. I don't like when it's broken into boxes. And if you, in the West, that's how it works. If you're an art house director, you make art house films.
when you're talking about 1 or 2 films a year, what genre of films are you talking about? Are you talking about short experimental films or?
No, features.
2 feature films a year.
Yeah. Like Koji Wakamatsu, for example, the Japanese director. I'm showing his brand new films. He has like 3 films this year. He's 82 years old.
How old?
82. He's pretty cool. And he's also a very radical filmmaker. You know, he used to be actually very close to terrorist groups in Japan at the time.
He had his finger on the pulse.
Yeah. It's forbidden to go in the US. Actually, Canada it's okay. I want to invite him at some point, but you know, 82 it's difficult. Yeah.
Never know.
And his first film of the year was shown in Cannes. Was a biopic on Mishima. His second film, which is the one I'm showing here, called Millennial Rapture, has been shown at the Venice Film Festival. It's going to be shown in the Temps Zero section. And there is another film that's going to be released in Japan in a few months. So, yeah.
So what defines Temps Zero, and how does an artist or director know where to submit their film?
Temps Zero is definitely a section I'm trying to program almost like against something. Films that go against something, you know, it's a spirit, kind of, you know, punk rock, experimentation. It's been in a very commercial way, so also there is a relation with an audience. It's basically, you know, art house films that can be cool and please an audience.
Can you define?
I try to go away from the official label of high culture and show people that, you know, some commercial films can be very artistic at the same time. You know, in Asia, it's a given. That's how they make films. There is no differentiation between art house and commercial.
So how do you make someone like you, who's very intimate with these films and is passionate about what they do, how do you connect that vision to someone who says, I want something commercial, and you're saying it's art and electronic, and you want to keep the youth. How do you tie that into the corporate aspect?
Well, in the West, it's difficult, huh? Because they want to put things in boxes, you know, in terms of to market them. So it is very difficult. But you know, the idea of presenting films as a programmers in that section and in other section as well, you know, is maybe to influence audience, influence filmmakers if they come to the festival, if they want to make films, or you know, to show them that it's, you know, you can make those films. It's possible. I mean, Tarantino comes from that. I change a lot of things. You know, it's still very, you know, Hollywood, you know, grounded. So it's not the reference that you should have, but at the same time, you know, he comes from that. He saw those films. You know, he knows you can be cool and also make, you know, serious art films. So yeah.
How are you? How do you find this year's programming, and what are you most excited about this year's FNC?
A lot of things, but this year is really cool. There are two things. I have 3 films made by young directors talking about youth in a very interesting way, especially the one that's very important is a Serbian film called Clip. Clip was got the grand prize at the Rotterdam Film Festival, which just banned in Russia, and it's almost like Kids, Larry Clark's movie, made by a young girl. So that's already different. You don't have the adult looking at the kids, and to have like this almost like morale above the whole thing. I mean, they're kids, that their world, it's fucked up, it's violent, it's disturbing as hell, but at the same time, seeing from the inside, it seems to be okay. And that's the you're not used to look at those topics that way. And basically you look at this and you're very disturbed, and you realize in the end it's a love story, and you think that's fucked up, and at the same time what comes out is like, if you don't understand us, you know, fuck you. And I think that's reflects something. And I have a film that is very similar from Ireland called Dollhouse. I have a film that is very similar coming from Argentina called Los Salvajes. And those 3 films, they're basically from the same world. They say the same kind of things. They position yourself as an audience in a very difficult way, because you don't really know how to look at those things, because they don't seem to be your world, but at the same time it's the world of every kids all over the world, and it's really cool. It's very interesting. So I'm very proud of those 3 films that make sense.
And how did you find those 3?
One was in Rotterdam, and when I saw the film, you know, I looked at it not knowing what it was, and you know, there is a lot of films like this. So I looked at it saying, you know, another one of those really, you know, harsh reality about the kids, especially in Serbia. I guess it's tough. But I was very, very, very impressed by the way it just twisting the thing around, and it's much more free than everything I've seen on the same subject matter. And then the others I've seen, because it was shown in Berlin. Another one was shown in Cannes. He won a prize in Cannes actually. And those 3, I was very amazed that they really worked together in terms of 3 different countries, 3 different films, but at the same time, 3. It's almost every film is a mirror to the other ones, and they make sense together. And I'm very happy with that. Yeah.
Do you find that happens? That there's a zeitgeist of themes that come up, just brewing?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But there is a lot of things to throw away. You know, those.
That's why they make garbage cans.
Yeah, that's it. You know, it's pretty rare to see those films like this, like Clip, like Los Salvajes, like Dollhouse.
So it's a good time.
Dollhouse is amazing because it was almost improvised, most of it. It's about kids entering a house, trashing it. You know, those bad kids, those fucked up kids. You know nothing about what's before and what's going to be after. You know nothing psychologically about those kids from before they enter the house and after they leave the house. So it puts you as an audience, you live in the present time. It's amazing to see how it works.
Wow.
Because you're not used to that.
Where do you get your source of information, the next film? Is it through relationships with directors, producers, film festivals? Can you explain?
Yeah, definitely. I try to keep connections with everybody that's doing stuff and what we consider good stuff. The filmmakers that came in the past, the producers that presented their films, the distributors, and the good thing is that the Temps Zero section has a very good reputation now. It started, nobody knew exactly what it was. And because it attracts a lot of audience, the audience has a public award as well, and we helped a few films in the past, and yeah, people like that section. They know it's a cool place to be.
How do people let you know, a programmer, that they want you to consider their film? How do they find you? Or how do you find them?
Those would be more the filmmakers, for example. The filmmakers would do that. They would call me or contact us and say, yeah, I have a new film, that would be great for that section. What I find really cool now is local distributors here, and also more and more international sales agents. When we tell them it's for Temps Zero, they say, oh, that would be the best place to show the film. So that's kind of cool, yeah.
So people are starting to come to you, and you have to do less footwork, and more people are just coming to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is this a type of multifaceted section common in other festivals, or is it particular to the FNC?
Yeah, not like that. It's similar to what Midnight Madness maybe in Toronto used to be at the time of Noah Cohen, maybe when he was doing it, and that would be that kind of films, commercial or very, very difficult art house films, but that would show at midnight. For me, I saw them during the day, all day. I used to go to Midnight Madness when Noah Cohen was doing it.
So
those were the films I was really impressed, and that's
So it's a unique then, this section.
Yeah.
Wow, cool.
Laurie Gordon.
You! Yay! I got some cool stuff.
That's the spirit of Temps Zero. That's exactly it. That's what Temps Zero is.
Yay! Tell me about you. What do you do here?
I'm everybody's bitch. That's not going on the internet, eh?
It's already on the internet. It's live.
Oui.
You didn't really scare me. I just needed to scream.
Yes.